Morning folks, how you doing? I was hoping to be away in the hills today, but it seems we're subject to another lockdown, so it forced a change of plan. I've got the bike all packed up and good to go. Anyway, I've been keeping busy. I've been measuring up in the garage in preparation for converting it into my gear room, so I just want to finish this sketch, make sure that the various bits and pieces that I'm planning all fit in the space that's available. But since the bike is loaded up, I thought, looking out at the blue skies there, that it might be worth just jumping on the bike and going for a wee spin down the coast. I'll take you with me, something to look forward to, get a bit of fresh air, a wee bit of exercise. So let me finish off with a sketch. I'll have a quick bit of lunch and then we'll get out and about. Hey folks, how you doing? I'm not sure how well you can see me or hear me. I'm tinged pink because of the red of the tent, and it's pretty blustery out there, and there's a big swell on the sea. The waves are breaking on the shoreline, just a wee bit in behind me there, so it's a bit noisy. Anyhow, we're out and about, we're out on the bike. Like I said, this afternoon the weather was just too good really to stay at home. I had planned to go further afield, but we're in another lockdown of sorts, so I'll wait until the dust settles, see what happens, and I decided just to stay local. So I'm not far from home. A wee cycle along the coast. I've got an exposed point to camp on here, but I'm tucked in behind a rock, so my theory is that I should get a good night's sleep. It's long nights at this time of the year. It's dark at about 5 o'clock and it's not light until 7, so anyhow, I've got some music with me, I've got some pasta to cook up, and I've got to get my camp set up, so I've still got a wee bit of work to do, so I'm going to crack on, folks. I'll get back to you in a wee while. Well folks, that's my camp set up. I've got my winter hat with me. Feeling the benefit of it. It's actually quite cold in the wind. Get this pillow set up right for a nice comfy night. Can you see me there, folks? It's getting pretty dark now. I've got a filming lamp with me. Let's see if I can get this turned on. Oh, that blinded you. I'm about to blind myself with it. That's quite bright. I have no idea what that looks like in the lens. It seems quite bright. I wonder if I can turn it down a wee bit. Let's have a wee go. Better. Right, it's almost dark. It's not late, 5 o'clock. I've been busy all day. I just had a snack for lunch, so I'm quite hungry. I've got some gas here, and I've got a pot someplace. Knocked you over there. Got a pot here, some gas, a pocket rocket stove. Let's get some pasta on the go. Sorry about the flapping of the tent, folks. I've not anchored the front yet because I'm in and out. Tighten it down before I go to sleep though. Not quieting down the tent, but I can still hear the waves crashing on the seashore. I've actually got 2 stoves with me. Get both of them on the go. Get the kettle on and the pasta. Right, how am I going to do this? My tripod is right here. Exactly where I want to be cooking. I think I'm going to have to open the tent up and move you out for a wee while, folks. A wee cup of tea here, folks, while I'm waiting on my pasta boiling up. Just builder's tea tonight, folks. Nothing special, although I have got some nice coffee for the morning. For a rubbish bag. What's this pasta doing? Oh, steamed up there, folks. Yeah, it's getting there. Sorry about the noise of the tent flapping. If I zip it up, it quietens down considerably, but then I don't actually have space to get the camera in. I've always got an excuse. Just good to be back out with the tent again, folks. It's been a while. Once I've had my pasta, I might give you some chat about the house move. It was a big decision. I'm checking on my food supplies. I had a sizable dry bag stuffed full of food for the trip that I was planning to do over the next couple of days rather than what we're actually doing just now. Anyway, I decided to put most of that food away. There's quite a lot of fresh food in it, and I just left some pasta. And I see I've omitted to include a dessert for tonight, so absolute disaster, folks. What are we going to do? We have a packet of biscuits, tea and biscuits for dessert. That's all there is. Got you sitting at a different angle now, folks. Be a wee bit quieter. So I'm gonna have to open that part of the tent. Let the steam out. Time to drain this pasta, folks. To leave the relative calm of the tent and go out there into the cold wind. It's not that bad out here at all. I'm moaning about. usually make my own pasta sauce, which is basically just tomatoes, to be honest, but I've got a popular brand tonight, and although they taste nice, they seem to have quite a lot of sugar in them. Right, that'll do. Right folks, that's the pasta done. I'm going to tuck into this and get back to you in a wee while. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed my pasta with tomato sauce and parmesan, folks, but it's time for another cup of tea. I'll get this stove to light. Tempted to have a coffee, but might be up all night. Better stick to tea. And a wee biscuit. Have a wee blather while I'm having my cup of tea here, folks. Tell you a wee bit about this house move. Sorry about the camera shaking around there. I've got you balanced and the wind is causing a bit of vibration in the tent. It's shaking things around a bit. Anyhow, I digress. Yeah, the house. Well, I mentioned in a previous video, actually I think I mentioned it more than once, that I was quite keen on securing a wee bit of land, or perhaps a building in a remote part of Scotland, preferably the islands, and I was attracted to the Uists. Mentioned before that I have family on the Uists. Anyway, when Mo and I were on our Hebridean adventure, we looked at a couple of places and we found a place that was in some ways suitable, but there was a couple of problems with it. Not in the least that it was vastly overpriced for what it was, although it was in a bonny location at the north end of North Uist, tucked in behind a wee knoll with a view of a hill and just 100 metres from the sea, with a wee burn running along the front of it. But it was needing a tremendous amount of work done on it. In fact, it needed a new roof. It had an old asbestos roof on it, which is quite a big problem really in terms of getting it removed and getting something safer put on. So that caused a little bit of concern. And then when Mo and I were looking at this property, it was derelict. It had been empty for quite a long time, although you could see it at some point in its history it had been cared for. However, there was very obvious infestation of rats, and that's a problem in some of these, basically they're house, kind of bothy type buildings, and you might think, even although there presumably now is no food source there, that they would let it be, but that didn't seem to be the case. There was certainly activity, recent activity. And I think coming from the burn, to be honest, and probably burrowing under the property and then coming up through. So bearing in mind that we weren't going to be occupying that property year round, I think it would be very difficult to keep on top of an infestation of vermin. So there's a couple of reasons why we decided to back away from that particular idea. And also during lockdown, although I churned out quite a lot of videos, and Mo and I, in many ways we had the best of it, living on the edge of the city with lots of wide open space to explore, we still felt that the city was dominating our lifestyle, and we wanted to do something about that. The house that we had was a lovely wee house. It looked after me for a long time. I owned it for over 20 years, probably closer to 25 years. It was my base camp that I was able to come back to during all my travels around the world. When eventually the time was right to pack the gear away and head for home, it was always there waiting for me. It's my safe haven. And so I was reluctant to sell it, but in the end we felt that it was too small and it wasn't ideally located for us, so we put it up for sale, and we secured the property so that we're in now, and we're a ways away from the city, but we're in striking distance of the city, so we're not particularly remote. But you know, I have this on my doorstep, so I can come out and you know, within a few minutes I can be pitching the tent, and so that's grand. I haven't completely ruled out the possibility of getting a remote piece of land to work, to play on at some point in my future. My brother owns a lot of land on South Uist, and there's a possibility there that I know that he's not interested in selling any of his land, but maybe an arrangement where I could lease some of it, and that would be an interesting addition to the channel as well, you know, in terms of filming something a wee bit different. But for the time being, I'm going to get settled into the new house, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get out and about a bit, because the period of during selling the house and buying the house and sorting out all the legal stuff and all the administration, and then just the physical task of packing up all my expedition gear. I don't have much furniture. We have a fairly large house now, and we kind of rattle around in it, to be honest, but we'll grow into it, I'm sure. But I do have a lot of gear. I've got a lot of tents and sleeping bags and bikes and boats and ropes and harnesses and ice axes and you name it. It's all there, and it all had to be packed and trundled from the city to the countryside. So it's been a busy old time, but we're pretty settled now, and notwithstanding lockdowns and where we are with them, I hope to get out and about quite a lot over the winter time. And in fact, Mo and I have got a plan for next month for not a particularly long trip in terms of duration, but quite an exciting trip, a good trip for the channel, because it'll take in some different areas of Scotland that I haven't filmed very much, areas that I've visited on numerous occasions, but mostly I haven't had the camera with me, although I have visited these areas once or twice since starting the channel, but I haven't filmed very much, so it would be something quite new and hopefully interesting for you. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm also interested in this idea that you're allowed to travel for work, but you're not allowed to travel for recreation. And in my mind, often I'm thinking, you know, is my filming, is it work or recreation, and what defines work? If it's defined by the earning of income, then most definitely the channel is not work. But if it's defined by energy expended and effort put in, then the channel is most certainly work. So I shall just have to make a judgment call on what I decide to do. One thing that I'm very clear on, and I have been throughout my life, is that the law is the law and the law is not for breaking. However, rules and guidance, I think they are open to interpretation, and I think we all have a duty just now to ensure each other's safety, so I wouldn't be doing anything that I felt was going to compromise either myself, my loved ones, or indeed anybody that I come into contact with. So when I woke up this morning and the bike was all packed, I was raring to go, to be honest, but I decided that I would give myself a little bit of thinking time, and I would use the fact that I now live out of town in a rural location to just jump on the bike and set off from my own front door, come out here and do a wee bit filming for you. So I really hope you enjoy this one, folks. It's not the adventure that I had planned for us, but nonetheless it was a nice afternoon, so a wee bit of footage captured, and we'll see what it's like tomorrow morning. It's supposed to be a nice morning as well, so I might be able to do a wee bit of filming. Truth be told, I could have done more filming this afternoon. It was a wee bit rushed, and that was because I was so busy measuring up my garage and scheming and planning, and I wanted to order some stuff online so that we can build up that gear room. I say we because I think I'll turn the camera on when I'm doing it. I'll give you an idea of what I'm planning. I'm doing it on a fairly tight budget. I'm not going to spend loads of money on it, but I have some ideas, and I've been able to find some shelving that I think is suitable, and yeah, I've got a wee plan in my mind, a wee sketch in my notebook, so we'll share that. But as I say, I was running out of daylight today with a camera, and the last few scenes that I was filming with a bigger camera, I'm not sure if they're going to be usable or not because the light levels were pretty low. And at one point the wind knocked over my expensive camera, blew the tripod over, so I'm going to use it tomorrow morning, and I'll be very keen to look at the footage when I get home to see if I've done any damage to the camera, but it seems to be okay. So we'll try and do a little bit of filming tomorrow as well on the way out, but I'm not going to hang around much tomorrow. I'm going to get up, do a wee bit of filming, make some porridge, have a cup of coffee, and then back on the bike, and it's an hour and a half maybe maximum back to the road, and then a quick spin round to the house. So I think I'm just going to enjoy my cup of tea now. It's drinking temperature, leathering a lot, see if I'm brave enough to put all this dialogue into the video. I usually try and keep the dialogue quite short. That's mostly because I lack confidence in the quality of it and whether or not anybody's interested in it. But it's a wee update, so I might put it in this time. So as I say, I'm going to have my cup of tea, I'm going to try one of these Scottish shortbread fingers, and we'll get back to you in the morning, folks. So I'll bid you good night for now. We'll see you in the morning. I was going to say I'll see you at daybreak, but depending on how I sleep, it might be a wee bit after daybreak. Bye for now, folks. wind is supposed to calm down a wee bit today. I was vaguely aware of the wind shaking the tent in the night, but I was quite tired, to tell you the truth, so it didn't bother me at all. Just before I went off to sleep, I could hear the sound of the waves crashing in the background. Quite a swell on the sea last night. Try to make sure there's no lumps in my porridge. I don't like lumpy porridge. Just checking out the depth of the water around these rocks, folks. I was just wondering if it might be a local spot for a bit of fishing. Water's quite shallow. I don't think it would be much use, to tell the truth, but it might be worth bringing a rod now and again. Give it a wee go. If you don't try, you'll never succeed. Anyhow, I think it's time to break camp and start heading back along the coast and through the dunes. See if I've got phone signal. I'll give Mo a phone. Might be able to meet her at the bay and have a wee cup of coffee before we head for home. So let's go, get this tent down, get the bike loaded up. Trying to get this tent dried off before I put it away. Save me unloading it in my gear room this afternoon. I'm looking forward to getting that gear room set up, folks. Still got a wee bit of work to do on it. Anyhow, I think that tent's dry enough now, so I'll take it down and get it packed away. That's it, folks, I'm all packed up, good to go. You might wonder about me carrying this bag on my back when I'm cycling. Cycling with a pack on is not the most comfortable thing. But the reason that I do that is because it's full of all the camera gear. And I don't want the camera gear, I don't want the cameras shuggling about on the back of the bike, so I put them in this dry bag. It means that they're reasonably accessible and well, it also protects them. You see I've filled the bag full of air because it's an airtight bag, so I can use the cushioning and anyhow, you get the picture. Try to protect the gear. Right, enough blethering. Let's get, I was going to say get on the road, but there isn't any roads. Let's get on the track.
brakes cleaned off. I've actually got brake cleaner with me, but too lazy to dig it out. Well folks, I'm not far from home now, so I'm going to give Mo a quick call, see if she's got a few minutes to meet me at the bay and we'll have a wee cup of coffee. So I'm going to put the camera away, I'm going to scoot down the track a couple of kilometres, see if Mo's got a cup of coffee for me. Let's go. Hello there. Hey folks, look who I found. Got somebody, oh, somebody's got treats there. Coffee and pastries. How you doing, Mo?
Good.
Say hello to the folks. Let me get this cup of coffee here, folks. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed that wee adventure. It wasn't the trip that I had planned, but we live in challenging times, so a nice night on the coast, under the stars in the tent. A wee mini adventure. So as I say, hope you enjoyed that one, and I look forward to getting back to you on the next one. I'm not sure what that's going to be. We'll just have to keep an eye on things and see if we can get out, maybe get a bit further afield at some point. So thanks for viewing folks, very much appreciated. Take care, stay safe, and I'll get back to you soon. Bye for now folks.